Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now March 6th of 2025, and given that there's a lot of things going on right now with the Meghan Markle series called With Love Meghan, it is already considered a ratings disaster. I'm sure that you all saw the Rotten Tomatoes score, and it really is by far one of the most lackluster performances by Netflix, at least in the past 5 to 6 years. This is exactly why it is beginning to backfire on those like CEO Greg Peters over at Netflix, the many executives, the board of directors, the list goes on and on. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So the press tour continues for Meghan Markle. We know that she is desperately trying to gain as many interviews as possible. She is trying to really get the word out there as much as possible for this show because, well, let's face it, there's not too much word of mouth for With Love Meghan after Netflix actually decided to really drastically cut back on their funds for the marketing campaign. That's why you haven't really seen a single commercial or TV spot or ad in general on television or online. That's exactly why that actually occurred. Now, what's really interesting here has a lot more to do with Meghan Markle yet again going on another rant, so to speak, when it comes to this series With Love Meghan and its underperformance and how it truly is a ratings disaster. It is a complete failure for Netflix, there's no doubt about it. And one thing about Meghan Markle is that, yes, we already know that she's going to continue to scapegoat, she's going to continue to double down on her agenda, whatever involves her view of the critics, those that are opposed to the show, those that are opposed to Meghan Markle in general. But let's get into all of this. Now, with the Meghan Markle ratings only getting worse every single day for Netflix, one major development going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle and her behavior in the midst of the backlash surrounding her show. Now, Meghan Markle recently delivered the following. You know, I think in this day and age, we are just dealing with too many judgmental people in the film industry, and there are just too many misguided people out there that like to poke fun at what it means to be a woman. Now, with this series that me and my team put together so perfectly, it absolutely demonstrates what it means to be a woman with skills, a woman that can provide for the world. What I find to be very irresponsible behavior, though, coming from the public is the toxicity coming from men and surprisingly now women that just aren't really educated enough to know that this is a series for them. We didn't aim to make the series for men. Many like to call me different names. Many like to say that I'm not as genuine or authentic as I should be, and those are just lies, pure lies, coming from people that have their own narrative going on. There's a ton of misogyny and sexism going on in this world right now, and I think that with this show we can help create a remedy to that. It's unacceptable behavior for those across social media to say that we weren't doing this for improving others or to educate others. This is absolutely a series about educating those how to cook and how to be a resourceful woman in a household. And I must say I expected better results with our project, and I hope we reach so many more in the coming days to really expand our reach and our word for what it takes to be a powerful woman in 2025. Now, we teach you how to cook and how to handle so many tasks in this series, and that's what I find to be so special for With Love Meghan. We need to stop obsessing over one's personality. What I am deeply offended by is this new trend of review bombing and false criticism for a series that so many sexists and misogynists tend to oppose whenever something involves a woman. And I think that with this feedback that we have seen, the criticism is just coming from a very loud place, a very dark place of lost individuals that have no clue who they are or how to fix themselves. It's quite concerning, actually, that this is how our world works right now, and just how accepted that is. Now, guys, before I move on about what Meghan Markle is spewing here yet again, look, the words sexism and misogyny has grown so, tired, has grown so much on Meghan Markle. It really is overused to the point where you just cringe whenever you hear it from anybody at this point, whether it's Sunny Hostin, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Meghan Markle, Rachel Zegler, the list goes on. They all like to use those words, right? Sexism, misogyny, it really is just a pointless statement at this point in 2025, right? When you look at things like that, they've been doing this for like the past 5 years. It's really just exhausting to even hear them say that. But what's interesting about this is that she goes on to say that one major reason as to why she got involved in this show is to educate the uneducated, and she jumps into that in just a second. It basically is a backhanded compliment, again, a very bad compliment, mind you, saying that people are basically uneducated out there that are just tuning into the show. We know that she's very political, both behind the scenes and in the public eye, and she's going to begin to get more political, there's no doubt about that. We already talked about how there were a handful of scenes for With Love Meghan that were axed, that were cancelled, that were supposed to actually criticize President Donald J. Trump during the 2024 election. Those were scrubbed by the editing team as demanded by the board of directors over at Netflix. Even they knew it would have been too much. It would have sparked even larger backlash for With Love Meghan. And again, this just goes to show you that this really is, by far, one of the biggest disasters for Netflix. We already know that there's a lot of people leaving in droves when it comes to Netflix. A lot of people are giving up their subscriptions. Nobody wants to listen to any of this garbage anymore, and that's just how it is. Now, look, the last time I checked on Rotten Tomatoes for this series, it was 33% for the critics, 18% for the regular viewer or the audience score. That is terrible, alright? It's going to continue to go down most likely, there's no doubt about that. And it will continue to tank, because it's very much an inauthentic series. Moving on. Now, she goes on to conclude, "We did a fantastic job with this project, and there is no other way to spin that. I am more than proud to say that I was able to educate the uneducated that may be uninformed on what it means to be a female, and how you could truly better yourself through cooking. It's just such a great mindset, but what I won't understand, and what I won't stand for, are the loud minority of critics that I don't even think they are critics. I think we are just dealing with people that have this sort of jealousy, you know, and hopefully they are able to better themselves somehow, some way. Our show is going to change the world, I promise you that." So she says how this show is going to change the world. Again, this is just an 8-episode series full of nonsense, full of inauthentic garbage. That's just the best way to put it. She's very narcissistic, greedy, insufferable, self-absorbed, and just a complete fraud. That's who Meghan Markle really is. She tries to come across as this bubbly personality, and it really just always backfires when she begins to get very much defensive whenever things don't go her way, right? Whenever things begin to backfire on her overall career, if you even want to say that she has a career in 2025, everything is beginning to collapse around her, whether it's a movie or a TV show or even a commercial. Her true backup plan. We already talked about this several times. A lot of commercial studios are dropping her from contract deals or contracts that were near getting finalized, and that is no longer happening as well. You know, everything that happened with Geico, Universal, the Carnival Cruise Lines, I mean, the list goes on and on. So again, this is a very interesting turn of events, the fact that the press tour is not looking too hot right now, and it's not much of a press tour. I mean, let's be real. This is a very miniature press tour. If anything, it's even smaller than the Snow White 2025 press tour with Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, right? That really is a very interesting comparison. But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.